right, the Friday Eve edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. First programming note, I have a 4-day weekend coming up tomorrow through Memorial Day, so no more Weather Geeks until Tuesday evening when we should be enjoying a pretty nice air mass pushing back in after the holidays. We'll talk about that in just a second. First of all, the 2-degree guarantee today, another check mark. That makes it 14 consecutive days of accurate temperature forecasts, bumping our 2016 accuracy up to 70%, I should say. Our high today was 82, and the forecast was for 83. It was a nice looking day today. It was certainly warm, and as promised, the humidity came back up. These are the dew points over the last 20 hours. We got into the 60s by mid-morning, and we stayed in the lower 60s in that dew point department all day today. Consistent day, I'll say that. But yeah, it felt like midsummer today because of the humidity. And here's a look when I recorded this at about 7:35 at the current dew points across the region. Mostly in the lower and middle 60s. Soupy evening, and a lot of high dew point air now has made its way into the eastern U.S. Pretty much everyone east of the Rockies is into a summer-like air mass now, but you'll notice some drier air starting to push into the upper Midwest, with dew points dropping into the 40s and 50s. That air mass eventually is going to try to work our way. Always interesting to look at the dry line out west. This is kind of like a cold front, except the air behind is not necessarily colder, but it sure is drier. And at this time of the year, this is the impetus for a lot of thunderstorm activity and problems out in Tornado Alley, and this evening is no exception. Look at all of the tornado watches covering the heart of the U.S. and severe thunderstorm watches down into Texas as well. It's been a rough week, but you know, it's the heart of tornado season. It's Tornado Alley. This is unfortunately kind of what you expect out there at this time of the year. I think we're largely dry tonight, aside from a stray shower, and I'll tell you, I don't think much is going to happen on Friday either. There's just no trigger for thunderstorms other than it being hot and humid. There's no front, there's no little disturbance coming through to help lift the atmosphere. So, sure, could there be an air mass, what we call stray shower or storm roaming around? Yeah, that's a possibility, especially in the afternoon, but most of Friday should be rain-free. You'll see that here on our Futurecast model as we roll this into Friday. Real spotty activity shown Friday afternoon. So, again, download the Storm Tracker 21 weather app, fire up the interactive radar, and see if you need to duck inside for 10 minutes. That's about it for Friday. Just a really hot, muggy, and largely dry day. Saturday might see a slight uptick in activity in the afternoon, but I mean slight. It's still going to be widely scattered. The big story remains not the threat for storms, but the heat and humidity. We should tie a record high on Saturday if we get to 90. And Sunday should be similar, maybe not quite as hot because it'll be probably a little bit cloudier Sunday. The ridge axis is shifting a little farther east, so the air mass going up several thousand feet in the atmosphere won't be quite as hot on Sunday as Saturday. But still, we'll get well into the 80s. It'll be muggy, and there could be a stray thunderstorm. Some good news as the models are now shifting towards a more comfortable air mass, really kicking in by even Memorial Day. So sticky through Sunday, but then by Memorial Day, hey, we might see dew points dropping down into the 50s in the afternoon. And while midweek could be kind of up and down in the dew point department, I think overall pretty comfortable stuff compared to the weekend coming as we head towards Memorial Day and into the middle of next week. So here's our Friday plus Memorial Day holiday weekend forecast. If I had to rank the days, I think Monday's the best day because it'll be most comfortable and most likely to be completely dry. Saturday is when the heat should peak or crest, but Friday's going to be awfully close. So overall, Friday and Saturday, the most uncomfortable days. Sunday into Monday, slowly but surely becoming a little more tolerable to be outside. All right, I showed this on my weather blog this morning and on 21 News at 6, and I'll do so at 11 again tonight. Here's the summer forecast. First, a review of the last 30 summers. There's been some hot ones. There's been some cool ones. It's been kind of interesting in recent years. We had a stretch of hot summers, warm to hot summers anyway, 05 to 08. 09 was cooler, and then 10, 11, and 12 were all pretty hot. 3-year stretch of hot summers. The last three have been pretty unremarkable temperature-wise. 2014 was a little cooler than average, but we were pretty much right at average in 2013 and last year in 2015. As far as extreme heat, or 90-plus days, well, the most since 1930 was back in the 30s and 40s. We had 40 90-degree days in 1931 and 1943. More recently, 2012 was a big year for 90-degree days. 18 days of 90-plus temperatures. The last few years, again, below average. Our average is about 8 or 9 a season, and I think we'll be around average this year. More 90-degree days in the last 3, not as many as we had back in 2012. Here's a look at the temperature forecast overall. We're calling for an above-average summer, and we consider summer to be meteorological summer, the months of June, July, and August, compared to average the coolest weather this summer out in the middle of the country. As far as precipitation goes, nothing remarkable stands out in the data as far as the rainfall outlook. This is tough sledding in the warm season particularly, because some places could get unlucky and get hit with a bunch of thunderstorms and could have a wet summer overall, while others are dry. That happened last year. We had an exceptionally wet June last year, particularly in the northern part of our viewing area. Down in Columbiana County, it was above average, but it wasn't the deluge that parts of Trumbull County had. And so last summer was remembered as probably a wet summer in places like Warren, or in Lisbon, it was kind of a dry summer. So, the precipitation forecast can get kind of tricky when you're talking on a seasonal time scale. That said, nothing stands out. Hey, it's going to be a wet summer. Hey, it's going to be a dry summer. A lot of the country should be pretty close to average. All right, that's it for Weather Geeks tonight. I look forward to seeing you tonight on 21 News at 11. Have a great Memorial Day holiday weekend. I'll see you back here for Weather Geeks on Tuesday.